Hello everyone, this is Jai from Couch Keyboard, and here we are again with another event preview, and this one for GOML. It's been a little bit dry for most of July, but we got some good stuff coming. We have GOML, Supernova, and CEO right after that. So these next 3 weeks are going to be amazing. Very much looking forward to it. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So, based on schedule, this is not much happening on day one for Friday. Sometimes it's kind of been to where doubles is all Friday, and then singles pools is Saturday, and Sunday is the top part. Which top 64, it's going to be a decently long day, but not too bad. This is either East Coast or Central Time. It's on the eastern part. I'll have to double check that, I suppose. But yeah. So we have some pre-locals on Friday. I'll start with Melee. I might do like Rivals and Ultimate and other stuff at the end, but Melee has been my main view getter, so I'll at least start the video with that. We have a decently big pre-local here. Not seeded yet, but I mean, I recognize Mar, I see I4, Frog Chip, I'm pretty sure is Irish, maybe that was Mint, I don't know. We have a few other people, Aklo, Younger, Feck, FM, Morse Code, J2, None. So this should be a pretty solid pre-local. Nothing too crazy, but you know, pretty solid. For doubles, this is not quite what doubles has been, but we do have Feck and I4, like I mentioned earlier, and they're going against Rishi Lot, which I think that they are definitely more known for their both being very good at singles. So we have Battle of the Siblings. I think Rishi Lot are better individually, but maybe not necessarily as a team. It's gonna be hard to kind of tell. Hacks and None, pretty interesting. You have Salt. Salt sometimes teams with some much worse players. So that'll be interesting. Double Puff. I think they could go on a run. It kind of just depends on. I don't know how much OG Kid actually plays. Super Ginger and Round Monster, I think they've teamed before, so I would not be surprised if we see top 8 here. Zod is pretty good in doubles, I believe. So let's see. Beating Mar and Aklo or Axe and None for Rat Monster, Super Ginger, yeah. That's doable maybe, but yeah, I feel like Zuppy's pretty good at doubles, but you never know. We could see some cool stuff. Rat Monster has pulled off a lot of crazy things. Fefek I4 is going to be really interesting to watch. I think like it definitely won't pull in very many views, especially not with nearly as much like top static teams. With like the Plub H box, all that kind of stuff, Cody, J-Mook. But this will be good. I definitely think it's worth watching. And then we have 16 pools with 4 advancing for each. Now, if we look at this, we do have Moth DQ, I assume. Pretty good bracket for Salt. I think that if Bonfire is able to beat Dawson, this could be interesting. Salt is, every Falcon's going to claim to have a sheet problem. But this is one of the better runs maybe for Bonfire. I don't know. I feel like Dawson does fine in that matchup though. So we have I4 and JCam winner plays Axe. I feel like JCam has done pretty good. I feel like it's kind of underseeded. I'm not super confident in the French sisters' ability in singles. So I feel like JCam's going to do okay here and probably take a game off of Axe. I know this will probably be a Icy Ditto, which Dark Gen X beat Slug in recently. Lunar Dust also has a Puff, but I think mainly goes Puff for the Ditto, like against another Puff. So I feel like Dark Gen X, and then Dark Gen X Axe, I think that's actually like, that could be good for Dark Gen X, because Ice Climbers has been a real issue matchup for Axe. Like, is he gonna go Fox? Is he gonna go Gunlink? Like, I don't think Pikachu Ices is as bad as it seems, but I don't know. I think it's hard to justify kind of staying in that matchup. GooseCon, I feel like is going to be Saucy Main, but probably won't be Ossify. I feel like Ossify is pretty good in the Falcon matchup from what I've seen. Spark versus FM. Spark has kind of been up and down. Like, I think what beat Axe at Genesis, but got like 25th at Pass House. FM coming off a pretty good run recently at some smaller stuff in July, so I wouldn't be surprised to see FM here. Spark is really good in the Puff matchup. You know, taking sets online against HBox, having a lot of experience against CPU Zero. So I don't know, and there's not that many good Sheiks anymore in Europe, so I'm pretty sure FM is British, right? So maybe Spark just comes back on top, but and Spark going into Ossify could be good. Ossify did beat J-Mook in the past year or so. Joey Bats, I don't think that's gonna be an issue. This is pretty good bracket for Rap Monster, I think. I think KGH should kind of get there as well. Chem DQ, unfortunate, but you know, it happens. Then Wave B, we have Moki, and I think Juicebox is going to be Squid. Squid is good. I think, you know, was formerly SoCal, now in Canada, I believe. But also Day Trip or DQ. That's unfortunate. I've heard of the Asian one. I think they had a good run in Genesis a few years ago, but I don't know. I feel like either way, this is not going to matter too much. And then Juicebox, I think will beat Squid. Next one we have, I think Mateo's going to make it to Laud. I think Laud will kind of do that pretty well. I think Dreffin will probably be E-Poodle. E-Poodle's good. This is not a good bracket for E-Poodle, because I mean, you have someone who has some of the most Marth experience in the world, and then you have a Sheik. But E-Poodle's good. You know, got top 8 at Creed, so it definitely could happen. And then also the Wizard of DQ is unfortunate. That is okay, because we got some good melee besides that. Dial M versus MGMG. I know MG is a Canadian player. I don't remember if they're Fox or what. The Conte Thought is a Falcon, I believe. Prof is a Sheik. I feel like this is probably going to be Aklo, Dial M. I don't think that's going to be a huge surprise there. But yeah. Zamu DQ as well. It's unfortunate. This is interesting. I think Morse Code's gonna win, but Tommy had a pretty good beginning of the year. I remember seeing his name. Pretty good Puff from the Northeast, I believe. Palpa, Artan, like this could go either way, I don't know. Young Waff. See how many waffles in there. You never know. I feel like he's probably not super fresh, but he's one of the old school players that was actually like trying to keep playing the game. I feel like Magi's gonna be fine though. Then we have Wave C. Mono Misfire is pretty interesting. I feel like either way, HBox is gonna be totally fine in that matchup. I don't know. I feel like I've heard of Misfire doing alright. I feel like it's kind of up and down. Maybe underseeded, but like justified based on recent matchups. I think Mono will probably win. And then we have Grab versus Calvar. I think Grab will get that. Then we have Regex and Milkman Zod. I don't know, Regex has been doing pretty well recently, up and coming. Freezus also doing pretty good. I feel like Zuppy will probably take. I don't know. I feel like Zuppy's been much more doubles focused. Maybe it's changed. Also, was playing Falco a couple years ago or something like that. Maybe I'll take Freezus. And yeah. And then AMPP, I think is or AMP, I believe. Pretty sure it's a Luigi. And doing pretty good. Frog Chip. I feel like this is probably going to go as seeded. Frostbite doing pretty good. And recently, a MDVA Ice Climbers. I think this should go pretty normal. We have Swift coming out after the crazy Genesis run. Rom is pretty good and does have some SGJ. I believe Rom is NorCal, where SGJ lives now. I don't know how much they play though. It's probably something. I don't know. I feel like Rom maybe makes it to Swift. I think it's Marth, so probably Swift will still make it through. This is actually really interesting, Inky and Wally. Also with Green Stash, the Luigi. This is really interesting to see if Wally can kind of bounce back. I don't think Wally's going to be that fresh. I think maybe enough to be Green Stash. I think Inky have a really good Creed. I think we'll probably be on top of this. And then if it turns into Rom Green Stats, that'd be pretty interesting. I feel like Rom will probably move on. But then we have Wave D. We have Zane. Should be pretty easy. I think Egg Money can probably pull this off. Michael, by the way, has had a few good runs. But I feel like that's I feel like Egg Money can kind of take care of that. Forox, I think, can make a good loser's run. Maybe that's just familiarity bias. Mod Money OG Kid. Mod Money's kind of slipped under the radar for me. I've heard being Tri-State Fox, pretty good. I don't want to drink the OG Kool-Aid. I think Mod Money's got it. Either way, should be fine for Zane though. And then we have D2. I've heard of Fireball. I think is a Oregon player. Rishi. Negative used to be pretty good. I feel like Negative will probably come out on top, but Fireball maybe will make it through in losers. Hard to tell. I don't know that much about this pool. SCJ also coming back, having some pretty good results recently. Slug and None with a TRT also being in that swing of things. TRT beat Plup, but you can say maybe that was Plup not playing that good, like last year or something. I don't know. I feel like Real Thing definitely could go on a run, but I feel like it's probably going to go as seeded, which is interesting because we have Slug versus another Falcon. We'll see how that, having such a good series of sets. We'll see how that goes. Cola. I feel like Cola Sunsei. Cola could definitely take a game. Sunsei is very good in that matchup, but I mean, sometimes you just got to get the right reads and put it together. J-Chu, I feel like this is a good matchup for J-Chu. I'm pretty sure J-Chu's beaten Sunsei before. And Tipped Off is speaking to me. I feel like they played a Tipped Off. So this is actually a pretty good bracket for J-Chu. Now we have top 64. All in the same pool makes it easy. This is pretty crazy in terms of a lot of these matchups. Spark has a pretty good bracket here. I feel like Spark, I don't know. I'm not going to bet against Ossify. I think Ossify will get that. SCJ Rishi, I feel like SCJ. I'm calling SCJ versus Zane. Quarters here, Zane does well. I feel like J-Chu can beat Sunsei again. You know what? I think that Sunsei is going to bounce back, but we'll lose to SCJ. Slug None? I don't know. I feel like Slug will lose to None, or beat None, but lose to Salt. Salt Dawson should be pretty clean. Rat Monster Axe is interesting because they played before, and it was super close like 2 years ago. So I think this time with Rat Monster, being the higher seed, with Axe not having a great, which Axe didn't have that bad of a Pat's House. It was like losses to Aura and HBox for 17. Like that's tough. But Axe just hasn't had that much. I think that's a Sunsei win, got a top 8. But still not that crazy. Which also, like, this is a bit, I think that's a fine bracket for Axe. But like, has lost Assault a lot. Has, you know, Dark Gen X, I could see that being Dark Gen X's favored. HBox, I think it's a pretty good bracket here. I think Morse could definitely be Magi. I think that would happen, but that's a rough bracket. Again, I want to see Morse Code Zane. Not going to happen here, but that's okay. We have, I'm not going to take Frostbite over Ginger. It's very tempting, but a good bracket for Laud until we get to quarters. I don't know, though. I feel like Ginger could be Laud. I don't know how Ginger's track record versus Peach is. I'll have to look into that, I suppose. One of the best matchups of this part is Aklo Dial M. I think that's going to be fantastic. I feel like Aklo will clean it up, but Dial M definitely could take it. Inky Swift. I feel like Swift can go on another good run. Even though the run itself was only beating Cody, really, I definitely think we could see another top upset here. I think we'll make it to Moki, but won't beat it. And I don't know, I'm feeling J-Mook over Moki. I feel like this here is good for Rat Monster until we get to quarters. I feel like I gotta go Sol here. Patrick was close, but yeah. Then we have a lot of interesting stuff here. Depending on how, like, this could go a lot of different ways. But I think J-Chu, even without the upsets, has a pretty good bracket here. We do have the potential for the Inky Slug rematch. Axe Style M, pretty interesting here. SDJ, I feel like, has a very favorable matchup. Ossify Morse Code would be unfortunate because they're both Michigan. But you never know. I feel like, you know, I mean, there could always be upsets. Kind of lead to stuff. I think Morse versus HBox is going to be tough. Ossify versus Zane going to be tough. I mean, if you want to have these guys avoid each other, maybe, you know, like, not that it should throw, of course, but, like, it'd be unfortunate to have one of them guaranteed not top 16. So, I mean, let's say Morse, I guess if Morse beats Magi, it puts Morse over here, or you know, maybe probably don't get a top 8 there, but I don't know. I think Morse is the Samus GOAT. Definitely could get some more wins. Very curious to see that. Yeah, and then for top 8, I feel like Zane's got this wrapped up. No Wizzy, no Cody. Everyone else should be pretty good. So I feel like we have a Zane win. I don't think HBox is getting second here. I feel like HBox is going to get like 3rd or 4th. I can see J-Mook having a pretty good run. You know what? Let me call Zane J-Mook Grants. Just like old times, Zaned up. Now we have Get Out of My Venue. We have a Brawl brackets, which I think will be pretty interesting. Rat Monster, Blitz. Blitz is a Ike from Canada, I believe. We'll see if Rat Monster can do well here. They're both like top 5, I think, mainly due to this tournament. So it'll be cool to see. I don't know if they're going to be able to stream it. Rat Monster also been entering HDR Ultimate, so we'll see how it goes against actually, like, you know, some of the top talent. For because Frozen's been crazy in HDR, so we'll see that. But who knows? And then we have for rivals, we have some top seeds here. Cake Assault, Beastly, Rangunsu, Sandstorm. Also some melee players with Salt and Mango. Also Mr. R, really good Smash 4 Ultimate player. Godly's been doing pretty good recently. Outside of that, it's not too crazy. We have like Switch. I think Bullets had a pretty good GOML last year. FPZ, Cheese Potato, Remorin. Like you know, it can be all right. I don't think any of the top 8 seeds are gonna not make it. Maybe FPZ over Salt. I think that's probably the most likely upset to happen here. But Mango had a crazy run at Evo. Very curious to see how Mango will do here. This could be a very interesting set. But yeah, I'm not as engaged in Rivals currently. I've been more melee focused, but it's always cool to keep up with. And Mango's doing his Rivals thing. More power to him. And we have an Ultimate pre-local as well. The Ultimate's kind of interesting because it's like, so it looks like they were capped out at 512 for both single or for both melee and Ultimate. I guess, you know, if they're, you know, at least that's what it seems to be, but I don't know. Also, they're not doing the overlapping waves, which is unfortunate, but the waves are big enough to where there's going to be top sets, so it'd be fine. Hopefully we get a lot of stream sets for both of them. I prefer like kind of the overlaps round 2, but with top 64, like, I don't know, maybe you do like top 64 to like top 24 or something, and you just kind of have some overlap or whatever, but I think it'll be okay. And yeah, the pre-local hurt syrup can be, you know, like should be pretty good. I assume they'll get this fixed for when this happens, so if people aren't as engaged in doubles, or if the doubles is early enough, we'll see some stacked pre-locals. For doubles, speaking of, this is definitely more top heavy than Ultimate, in terms of what we've seen. Leo Spargo. I mean, we see like Leo Big Boss, we see like Spargo and like Rugal, something like that. But this is interesting. Don't see much in terms of Japanese talent coming through here, but this is still pretty cool. Lucky and Tweak is pretty interesting. Beast Mode Paul, we could definitely see a run there. I feel like it's harder for Hero in doubles, but still good. Anarchy Lights, I think could also do pretty well. And then we have, I don't know as much about Ultimate recently, to be honest, so I'll kind of just go over top 64. So I feel like Hurt has it kind of lined up pretty well. Light has beaten Hurt recently, but I don't know. I feel like, I mean, Leo had a crazy recent track record. Tweak has just not really been that good. We don't have much Japanese talent, which I think is okay. You don't need to have a ton. I think with Supernova next week, it's going to be fine. I feel like Jackal could go on a run. I feel like Lima could beat Crepe Soleil. I've definitely seen to where Bayo actually does okay against Steve in some ways. I'm not feeling great about Cola, honestly. I feel like Cola mode is a jag. Like, Cola just doesn't seem quite locked in right now, and also Springtime with Melee, which I like, but I don't know. Eligman, whatever, the Shulk, doing pretty good recently. I could definitely see them getting top 16. I'm feeling a Paul top 8. The route there is tough, though. Excuse me. Having to go through Wrath's tough, and then potentially Tweak. So maybe never mind. But you never know. I mean, Tweak could lose early. Wouldn't this be a Diddy Ditto? I think so. Yeah, I'm feeling a Lima top 8. I feel like Wrath probably a top 8. Riddles top seed for Street Fighter, so maybe not going to be super locked in. You never know. Maybe not. I feel like Jackal will get 9th. I'm not feeling super strong about Crepe Soleil. I think Jackal will take care of Crepe Soleil here, and then Syrup will make top 8. Heck, Syrup could be light. You know what? I'm calling Syrup winners finals. Screw it. I think we're gonna have Spargo Syrup, a little bit of Cab Clash run back. I think Hurt will come back and make it to Grands. I think it's gonna be Spargo first, Hurt second, and maybe. I guess Leo 4th, Syrup 3rd. Yeah, I think Spargo's going to win it. So we'll see. I think that I'm definitely going to be paying more attention to Melee, but Ultimate will be, like, it's going to be a cool bracket. Like, Hurt is someone to where it's like you have to appreciate. Sometimes Snake it gets a little spammy and it can be a little annoying, but I don't know. Like, this event's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna be eyes glued to Melee. I think this is gonna be amazing. And then there's a lot of other stuff happening too. No Tekken, but besides that, a lot of fighting games. Street Fighter. We also got a little bit of Rivals 1 shout outs. Grand Blue, Uni 2, Rivals 2, Strive. So I think Strive does not seem to be also Splatoon. That's cool. Strive doesn't seem quite that stacked. Less than 50 in terms of Lunchables. Ain't that the PM Lunchables? Huh. Interesting. Just trying something new. But yeah, no, I think this is gonna be awesome. I think that Toronto is a great place. I know not that technically Toronto, but like, you know, this is like, I assume like suburbs of Toronto type thing. Like kind of outside city limits. So I definitely will be enjoying this, and I encourage you to watch this as well. I'll probably do a recap on Monday, and yeah. Happy Smash. See you later.